Hello and welcome to episode number 272 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Raw for the first night after King of the Ring and Evolution. And we're on the beach, it's beach break time. Well, probably not beach break because that's an AEW thing, but I guess we can call it Bash at the Beach. But it actually takes place at a beach in California. Because that was a goal I had. I was like, let's do a beach Raw. It's funny, Raw on the Roof as well, and all these other special shows. Probably most of them will come after SummerSlam. But for now, Raw on the beach, Bash at the Beach. We have our King and Queen of the Ring. And only one of them is on Raw, that's Cody. And he's not even going to be here tonight. He's just going to appear on a video. Because I've got other things to fill time on here. Anyway, we kick off the road to SummerSlam. And for the first time in, forever, I actually have decent competition from the real world SummerSlam to try and live up to. But mine is actually in August, and theirs was in July, which is why it feels like I'm so far behind, but I'm not. Because SummerSlam didn't actually take place in August this year, which is weird. Anyway, there's also another couple of big announcements now. One that probably should have been made yesterday at Evolution, but it's being made tonight instead. Because I hadn't decided on it before the pay-per-view, like I had with NXT Japan. Anyway, I'm rambling. It's literally been nearly 2 minutes and we haven't even got into the show yet, so without any more further ado, let's just jump straight into the show. 91 rated opening segment. The ladies of the Grand Jury. Julia Scala and new Raw Women's Champion Sonya Deville. First time I'm actually ever saying those words because I sort of got angry at the end of Evolution. But we are now officially down to high injury. High injury is still, high. But extreme, I thought, because there was a lot of injuries in real life, I was like, I'm going to put it up to extreme because that seems fun. Nope. It's beating the fuck out. It's beating my fucking sanity. And now it's dropped back down to high. So, high is still not... It's still high, but not extreme. Anyway. Sonya comes out. And she's like, a lot of people really didn't really think I would do what I did at Evolution, and not only did I beat Rhea Ripley for the championship, I put her on the shelf for 2 months. You're not going to see Rhea Ripley here for a while, and that's all because of me, that's all because of the Grand Jury. And now we move on to SummerSlam coming up in 4 weeks, and I'm going to be going into that show as the Raw Women's Champion, And there's a whole lot of great competitors here on Raw. Half of them are injured, half of them aren't. Some of them are pregnant, But one thing stays for damn sure, I'm on top of this goddamn division. And I'm not going to give up this title easily. That's when Asuka comes out. Asuka, of course, has beef with these girls. Because Julia betrayed her and joined the Grand Jury. And she's starts ranting in Japanese. And Sonya just sort of turns to Julia. She's like, what does she say? And then Julia sort of whispers in, it's like, oh, okay, so you think you want to challenge me right now? Because Julia realised that I'm the biggest star here, and I'm the one who can guide her to the future. Edge, Randy could all guide her to the future better than you could. You've taken exception to that, have you, Asuka? Well, if it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get. And I'm feeling special here at the beach. It's beach time. Bash at the Beach. Why don't we make this a championship match, Asuka, right now, me and you? And Asuka's like, yeah, holy shit, I'll take a free title match. So I'm just going to kick off Bash at the Beach here with an impromptu Raw Women's title match. Sonya Deville defends against Asuka. And a 79. Asuka defeats Sonya in 13:44 to capture the Raw Women's title. Asuka gets a 92. And Sonya gets a 73. Okay, let me just go through those ratings again. Asuka, this one here, who wasn't the champion, scores a 92. And this woman here, who was the champion, scores a 73. Now, I'm going to have to pull the curtains back a little bit here. Normally I'd be like, if I do something this outlandish, I'm normally like, trust me. I've got a plan, yada yada yada. This is the first time Sonya got the short end of the stick here in this whole deal. And I'm going to be upfront and admit that. because she was never supposed to win the belt. Okay? Rhea was always going to lose the belt on this show. Believe it or not. Which is why it annoyed me so fucking much that they actually called the audible and flipped the belt. Because in real life, if she'd have got injured in that match, she'd have still won, and then they'd have been like, okay, get the belt off her, and they'd have done it on this show, which is what I was always planning to do. But the game was like, no, Sonya wins the belt. Which fucked everything up. So, I was always going to flip the belt on this show. Sonya shouldn't be the champion. And now Asuka's the champion. Because look at these ratings. I couldn't deny it. Asuka is the champion. Sonya will probably still be okay. I'm not going to say she's fucked. But I will peel back and admit. Normally when I do stuff like this, I'm like, don't worry about her. There's a plan here. The plan was just to rush the belt onto Asuka here. And Sonya got fucked over in the process. Blame the game, not me. Anyway, speaking of the Raw Women's Championship, out comes Bianca Belair. After Asuka wins. And she's like, girl, congratulations. At Evolution, me and Nova, we finally put Alexa down. And now Alexa's not going to be able to stand in my way no more because she knows she's always going to get these hands. But that takes me ahead to SummerSlam, Boston, Gillette Stadium. Big venue for the biggest party of the summer, Asuka. How about do you say me and you one-on-one for the Raw Women's Championship at that pay-per-view? And then Asuka's like, yeah, I accept. Because Kairi's already challenged Dakota. And now we know our Raw Women's Championship match for SummerSlam, which will be Asuka defending the Raw Women's Championship against Bianca Belair. As far as, impromptu title matches that weren't planned, I could do a lot worse than that. Sonya, I'm sorry, but you weren't supposed to win, and you're capped at, really low popularity. So, what was supposed to originally be Rhea Ripley against Bianca Belair is now Asuka versus Bianca. Because that seemed like a fitting swap to me. Okay? I'm justifying my decision. Because ultimately I do have to consider the game's ratings as well as real life stuff. And Asuka she deserved the run, basically. And we're going to run with her as the champion heading into SummerSlam against Bianca. This is the new Raw Women's title match for SummerSlam. A match that actually hasn't happened, I don't believe, one-on-one in this world. So that's fun. We then cut to, I'll call it Alexa's office. It's more so like a beach house. Not even really a beach house, just like, a fucking gazebo. Or whatever. Just with her desk in it. Because she's still chilling. She's got her sunglasses on. She's ready for the beach. She's got a beach chair in there. Beach chairs probably instead of actual office chairs. And then Brandy walks in. And she's like, hey, I've got the thing, Alexa. Now Alexa, she pours herself out a drink, big party time. She's like, huh? Go on. She's like, yeah, the thing, we finally got it sanctioned and signed off on. Alexa's like, oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, so what are we doing about that? And Brandy's like, well, I was thinking going out to the ring later on tonight and announcing it. And Alexa's like, fine by me. Just, make sure you get it out there, let it be known what's happening. I mean, you're the women's division overseer, you've got to run things past me because it's my show, but ultimately the ball is in your feet. So Brandy's like, sick, well, I'll go get ready. So Brandy's teasing a big announcement later on tonight. Alexa enjoying, probably some sort of cocktail or tequila or something in her office with Ivy and Tatum just chilling in the back. Speaking of just chilling at the party, we get women, big women at the beach. This is our fan service episode. They're in the ocean throwing water at each other, chilling at sunbeds. When all of a sudden this douchey guy walks up, he's like, "Sup?" He sits in the middle of like a hot tub full of women. He's like, "Sup? My name's Grayson Waller. I'm the hottest, trendiest star in NXT. You might have heard of me." And then they're all like, "Eh." She's like, "What?" And they all sort of get out of the pool and just leave him in the pool by himself. And he's like, "You're lost, mate. You're lost." And he's just chilling. So we couldn't have a party without Grayson Waller. He's got to make a cameo and get himself all trendy. His trendy dude gimmick is now adequate, you know. Just a fun segment, you know. Got to do segments like this if you're having a beach party. First match of the show. No, because we had the women's title match. Never mind. Charlotte and Jordan defeat Smile and Shine when Charlotte submits Tegan with a figure 8. 68 for Jordan, 89 for Charlotte, 65 for Kylie Ray, and a 74 for Tegan. And at Evolution, the pre-show Battle Royal was won by Hikaru Shida. So we know that her and a partner have a women's tag team championship opportunity at SummerSlam. But before Charlotte can say anything, out comes Cora. And Charlotte's like, what are you doing here? We beat you! It's like, okay, I know, but like, again, you know, Heat takes place on a Monday, so I sort of just... Also, it's not even that, because I'm not even booked for Heat this week. It's just I came to see you because I believe me and Billy deserve another shot of your titles. Charlotte's like, huh, of course you do. Based on what exactly, Cora? You lost. And it was all your fault. Bailey could have got out of that hole, but she wouldn't, because it's my figure 8. Nobody gets out of it. But you know, you lost. You threw in the towel. You gave up. You accepted defeat. And now you want to come out here and boast about how you deserve another shot at the title? She's like, okay, well, I get it, but like, I feel like I've already learned from my mistakes. I know I messed up, and I want to make things right with Bailey, because you know she's my best friend. Okay, Charlotte's like, she hates you. And I was like, well, hate is a strong word. I'm also consider it complicated. But anyway, unless you're a coward because you're scared because you know I beat you a couple of weeks ago. Unless you're scared of losing again and losing your championships, I don't know why you're not going to give us another shot if we're so easy. Charles like, because we have a contenders. You know, Shida won the Battle Royal at Evolution. Her and her friend. Unless she picks you, which, God, why would she? If she does, she's dumb. Unless she picks you, then you don't get the opportunity at SummerSlam for the Tag Team Championships. You go to the back of the line. Of course, like, okay. Okay, well, I'm just going to sit around here, you know. Enjoy the sun, the sand, the ocean. Nice the day at the beach here. You know. I really think we should probably get Pierce to, you know, bring SmackDown here at some point. It's really cool. Anyway, you might want to look out behind you, though, because you never know who's coming out. Bang! Sheeta's got a kendo stick. Twat Charlotte in the back. And obviously Jordan gets twatted again. And then Sheeta sends both women running with a kendo stick. And she holds it up in the air triumphantly. And Cora sort of gives her a look. She's like, oh, you're pretty cool. And Sheeta and Cora sort of share a look. And she sort of like gestures the stick at Cora. As if to say, like, you get out of my fucking way. And Cora's like, okay, sorry. We're back in Alexa's office. She's probably like 3 or 4 drinks in now. She's like, woo! She's feeling the atmosphere. Because she's not really... Her GM duties are kind of loosened today because it's a big beach party. Bash at the beach, you know, a big beach party. And the same guy from before walks, he's like, alright, Alexa, looking great today. Ivy, Tatum, you're looking great too. Anyway, I kind of went down as you're hosting the hottest party of the summer here. There's no room for your boy Grayson Waller. Alexa's like, who are you? And he's like, great, the trendy guy in NXT, you know, Grayson Waller, these two will know me. And Ivy and Tara are sort of just like, no. She's like, what the hell? Oh, like, okay, so apparently no one here is hip with the times. Nobody's on the Insta, nobody's on the Twitter, the TikTok. I'll make you remember me. I'll make myself trendy. And then Alexa's like, whatever, dude. As he leaves and just sips more drink. Alexa sort of, you know, as the show's going on, you notice she's slowly getting wankered, is the term I'm looking for. I was trying to put it lightly, but I was like, you know, now that's just... She's getting smashed. Here's a segment. Nothing screams bash at the beach quite like Titus World Records. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, we here at Titus World Records are ready here to move on to the next step of the process, and that is our boy Slim Shanky to become the 24/7 champion. Take that carnage, Bella's Carrying Cross has called it. and really turn it into something special. And R-Truth's like, well, Titus, you're going to help get my baby back. He's like, Truth, you've had the offer from me for weeks. You can't get the baby back. Slim Shanky is taking the title. And then out come the Cross, let the bodies hit the floor. Out come the Cross Collie. He's like, bold of you to assume anyone's taken my championship. You know, Goldberg thought he was better than me. He thought he had a better streak than me, and look where he is now in the hospital. His spine gave up on him. And now your spine's gonna get ripped out too, at the hands of Mr. Cold Steel himself, carrying a cross. Nothing personal, kid. 65. Slim Shanky beats Cross for the belt. An abrupt end to the story. Obviously, the original plan was to have Cross versus Goldberg at SummerSlam for the belt. Goldberg would win the belt and then give it back to R-Truth or something like that. But Goldberg's gone, which means I've got no use for carrying Cross's undefeated streak anymore, or the Carnage title. So Slim Shanky picks up a win. Titus World Records get the job done. Shanky's, I guess, 24/7 champion, but it says Carnage title on the screen. Haven't changed it back yet. 80 for Cross, 37 for Slim Shanky. What a victory. But as he celebrates, Carland jumps out from wherever he hides and assaults Shanky. And he just continues to assault the fuck out of Shanky, probably with a chair. Starts wailing into Shanky. And then he walks out and leaves Shanky laying. Titus checks on him, and R-Truth sort of looks around, crawls into the ring, covers Shanky. Obviously, 24/7 title rules are still back in effect. 1, 2, 3. R-Truth wins his baby back. Finally. I forgot to put the title change in this segment, but I'll do it after the show. In fact, I'll do it right now. So Truth now has the belt. It's fine. But we then go away from beach action to the Dark Castle. Because our heroes have reached, the top of the staircase, the big long stone staircase. And obviously there's a massive, not really a portcullis, because you can't see through it. Just a big, big door that they're about to open. Dio's about to open the door. And Manny's like, wait, are we sure we're ready? Do we want to just waltz in there? And Saraya's like, yeah, starts stamping her feet, like, I want to get my pendant back. And Sensei's like, no, Manny's right. There's a very good chance that this is all a setup. And I know we've got through a lot of situations we probably shouldn't have got through right now. But we don't know what these people are like back here. We don't know, who they are. We don't know if we're dealing with a man, a woman, a monster. There could be a trap literally right at the other side of this door. We need to take our time and really consider our options. And Dio's like, nah, we'll take him. Opens the door. He storms in. The other three chase after Dio. Bang! They're trapped in a cage. Our heroes are fucked up. And then we see, the backs of a giant man, a bigger man, and then one in the middle who is, I guess, smaller than the other two, but still decently sized. And then a woman walks in, like a small woman. And she's like, they appear to be here, Mr. Helper. And he's like, excellent. I knew you'd come. You must be here for this. And he tosses the pendant on the floor behind him. So, our heroes trapped in the cage can see it. And Saraya's like, and tries to reach out to it. But can't quite reach it. It's purposefully out of sight. And the Helper, he still goes back down to him. He's like, you see, you really didn't have to come all this way up here to find us. Because believe it or not, we have your best interests in heart. We want what's best for you. And that pendant is going to help us achieve what we want. Because with it, as you can see, Saraya, she can channel her powers within. But what if power wasn't the only thing that we could get out of it? What if we could use the magic of the pendant to take control of everything. Because if we all controlled the same thing, then conflict would cease to exist. If everybody in the world listened to me, then everybody in the world would be at peace. Everybody will sacrifice their own sanity, their own identity, for the sake of mankind. And now it's up to you four. You seem to be in a bit of a predicament. And then he walks out of the shadows. He's finally looking at the four, and we can finally see his face. And in case you haven't been able to realise, it is in fact Mr. Joe Gacy. And he's like, so, whatever you four call yourself as a collective, do you accept this offering of peace? We'll give you back the pendant as long as you agree to join us. But of course there are some exceptions. You see, these three, you know, you have to banish any ideas of your past self, any of your past realities, and move forward under my guidance. And if you think you can stop these three, then be my guest. We then see the woman takes her hood off, and she's Ava Valkyrie. And Joe Gacy's like, you know, you may have seen this woman amongst the living, but now she's found true peace, and this is Aisling McPhee. And then another one, the slightly bigger, the bigger man but not the giant man, takes his hood off. The artist formerly known as Alexander Wolf stands there, and he says, this man, he was once insane, but now he's found peace. This is Wolf Gruber. And this man takes his hood off. Man we haven't seen in a couple of months. The former Dabakato, Babatunde, him. And he says, this man as well. Forget what you used to know him as. He joined me, and he is Aziz. And then the four of them are standing face to face with our heroes. And Gacy's like, well, the ball is in your court. You can join this movement, or you can be an enemy, and trust me, you don't want to be our enemies. I may have stolen what is rightfully yours, but trust me, you can have it back. You will get it back. You just have to agree with my vision and see the world from my point of view, and relinquish your souls just like these three did in the name of peace. And Dio's like, yeah, you're talking a lot of shit, buddy, we're not doing that. And Gacy laughs like, so defiant. Well, I hope it didn't have to come to this. He opens the cage door. He's like, you four, you are free to leave this place. On one condition, we will come and find you, and we're not gonna fight here. This isn't our domain, this is your domain. We need to fight on a neutral, safe space. we'll give you a couple of weeks to prepare because we will be coming. You can find us in Boston, Massachusetts. Be there. Or be our enemy for life. So shit's kicked off, you know. Joe Gacy, obviously he's the helper. Because, of course he is. And the pendant that gives Sarray her magical powers, he wants to use that to sort of, I guess, brainwash everyone. Because if everyone is brainwashed by him, then everyone will be at peace. And he wants peace, but, you know, peace for him comes at the price of stealing everybody's identities. But our heroes can get the pendant back, because they have been, you know, removed from the tower. But apparently they've got to meet Gacy and his crew at SummerSlam.
You know it's been a minute, boy, I've been inside. Yeah, I swear on it all, I'm gonna get it. I'ma go hard, I'ma go hard, I'ma go hard.
Mustafa Ali. A name that we haven't heard in quite a while. Probably about as long as Aziz, to be fair. Because they lost at Mania and everyone sort of vanished. Kushida popped up in the Cruiserweight World Cup. Mia Yim was doing stuff before she left. Sammy, you know, he's in the main event tonight. And he just comes out, dressed in his normal clothes, maybe just as a guy, really. And he just takes a chair, just sits in the middle of the ring. And he's getting showered with booze. And he's like, I deserve this. Boo, boo, boo away. I deserve this reaction. You see, for the longest time, I really thought what I was doing was the right thing. And I soon realized that it's not about the act. It's about how you go about that act. And sitting at home after I lost at WrestleMania, my new America, my dream, crumbled at my feet at the hands of John Cena, Keith Lee, Pete Dunne, and Kurt Angle, and Sami Zayn. Now, you probably all thought I'll be out for revenge for Sami Zayn. I'm not. Sammy saw the light a long time before I did, which is kind of funny, you know, considering I used to have the whole chase the light thing. But I couldn't see the light until it was too late. Now, I'm not expecting you all to immediately forgive me. I'm not even expecting you to ever forgive me. But, you know, what's a true sinner if not one who repents his entire actions? And of coming out here, you know, the whole idea of the new America was to make the name Mustafa Ali and names like Yujiro Kushida and Babatunde Oyegbisi, these names, was to make them stars in WWE because I wanted to be that inspiration. But somewhere along the way I sort of lost my mind, and it wasn't until I was sat at home after WrestleMania without my new America that it hit me. My wife turns to me and she says, if you want to be change for the little Muslim boys and girls, why are you doing it in such a abhorrent way? Why can't you just be sat at home as Mustafa Ali, go out there as Mustafa Ali, and the little boys and girls will watch and go, hey, he's just like me. And I've got my wife and my daughter's front row here tonight. Free beach vacation for them, I guess. But mainly because I wanted them to hear this too. because I've been quite the insufferable prick these last few years. And now's my make good. Now's the time to really do the name Mustafa Ali justice and really go about the change, not by force, but by proving that I belong and that I won't be held back. Out comes Angel Garza's music hits. And him and Dixie come out. And Dixie's like, Ali, honey, that's such a great story. Like, yeah, I've been gone for a while, but nobody really cares. Because you've already damaged your reputation around here, hon. And Ali's like, that's fair, you know. Maybe that is the case. And they sort of walk around ringside, and Garza sort of stops at the bottom of the ramp. And he points in the front row to Ali's wife. And he sort of walks towards her. He's got a mic, he's like, is this your wife? And Ali's like, look, like I said, I'm not going to be violent. I'm not going to do anything by force. But I will just warn you, if you do anything to my family down there, I will whoop your ass. And I won't repent that. And Garza's like, oh, come on, man. Like, look at her. And Ali's like, don't you fucking dare. And Garza's like, hey, babe. Gives her, like, probably give her a kiss on the hand or whatever. And then Ali's wife slaps Garza around the face. And Dixie's like, babe, let's leave him, let's leave her. And then the guy's like, no, it's fine. And he continues to, like, approach Ali's family. When he's had enough, he slides out of the ring. He's got the chair, smashes it across Garza's back, chases him around ringside with the chair. And, like, eventually Garza runs up the ramp to the back. And the invisible force field sort of stops Ali getting him. And then he goes to check on his family in the front row. And he's like, come on, we're leaving. So, yes. Babyface Mustafa Ali. The thing with Mustafa Ali is I've always tried to, like, give him different things. And he's one guy, like, I can think I've had different eras of him throughout this series. He had his original, like, the hacker era, which is where I started to say he was the SmackDown hacker. And then he had the Message, which is sort of an off-brand of that. And then he had the New America. And now we're going to have, you know, Mustafa Ali, the babyface, wholesome Muslim expert, I guess. The hero to the... Like, basically, the same thing he was before, but, like, he's sort of realised, like, you know, if I'm going to try and be change around here and get the name Mustafa Ali at the top again, then the best way to go about that is just by, you know, being undeniable and being the best version of yourself and being that idol to the young boys and girls at home. Brought his family out of ringside, and obviously Garza took interest in Ali's wife, which is a big red button, and Ali fought him off. Oh, hello! 87 rated match. A random match between The Miz and Cesaro. Two very long segments. So it feels like a completely different episode I was discussing this. But remember Grayson Waller? He was here earlier on. He helps The Miz defeat Cesaro in 11:36 of the Skull Crushing finale. 85 for Cesaro, 75 for The Miz. And Miz is like, well, thanks, buddy. Like, cheers, boss. And then Waller, he tosses a chair into the ring. And then he takes one for himself. Just as The Miz like, pick up the chair, mate. Miz is like, okay. And Miz and Grayson Waller just sort of like start unwailing on Cesaro with chairs. Beating him up with chairs in the ring. Nobody was around. And then he's like, you see Logan Paul? Hope you're watching, buddy. You think you're the trendiest megastar in WWE? Well, Grayson Waller's just arrived, baby. And then him and The Miz sort of continue to assault each other. Probably Grayson Waller will probably take a selfie and like upload it. He can do the Austin Theory thing, but better, because he's a better fit for that anyway. The whole selfie thing. And, you know, Tyler Breeze has sort of gone cuckoo. So We have created the most douchebag duo of all time. And The Miz and Grayson Waller appear to have taken issue with Logan Paul calling himself, the trendiest WWE star. Because he's a social media megastar, but Grayson Waller believes he is too. I forgot I booked this segment. Alexa's chilling in, a lounge chair in her quote-unquote office. Which is just, a gazebo. Ivy and Tatum, suspiciously gone. There's a reason they're not on screen. It's not because I forgot them. They are... We'll come back to them later. And then Riddle walks in, he's like, hey, bro, great, cool party you've got going on here. And Alexa's like, yeah, it's great, yeah. And Riddle's like, hey, Lexi, bro, I'm sure you need a break after you organize this whole thing. I've sort of got some of my friends showed up now, bro, and And Alexa's like, well, what do I know? And then Riddle's like, bro, I just wondered if it was okay, since we haven't got a match tonight and there's a lot of beverages around here, bro. If it was okay for me and my friends to go off around the back, bro, and Alexa's like, oh, yeah, sure. And Riddle's like, cool, sick, bro. Anyway, great episode of Raw tonight, bro. I'll see you next week. And then Riddle goes off to, smoke with his friends. And Alexa sort of just, in a world of her own, taking another sip of cocktail or whatever. Hey, injuries down, but still won. It's only cracked ribs though, so it's fine. He'll be fine. He can work through that. Top Dollar and Bobby Lashley have a match, because I think that would be kind of fun. And it goes with the whole thing of all of the groups hate each other right now. Bobby Lashley defeats Top Dollar in 10:45 of the Spear. 80 for Lashley, 39 for Top Dollar. And after the match, Lashley and MVP talk. And MVP is like, well, see, that's why the almighty Bobby Lashley, the colossal Bronson Reed, primetime Ronnie Hughes, we are looking at the most dominant faction here on Monday Night Raw. Hit Row, your boy, no disrespect, he put up a fight for the almighty, but he ain't no almighty Bobby Lashley. And Swerve's like, Top Dollar, he's a rookie around here, he took Lashley to the limit, Or do you think maybe Hit Row can stand toe-to-toe with the Hurt Business? And MVP's like, shut your dumb ass up. There ain't nobody on this roster that can stand toe-to-toe with the Hurt Business. Then out comes Finn Balor. You're being a bit of a big talker there, MVP. Coming from somebody who was a coward and won away from the Balor Club. And MVP's like, well, we'll fucking whip your ass too. Shut your dumb ass up and get in this ring. Bring Ridge, bring Santos. All of the members of every single faction are on screen, by the way, but it's just, limits. And then William Regal and Walter and Pete Dunne and all of them come out. And it's like, my, there does seem to be a kerfuffle going on here at Bash at the Beach. Well, see, believe it or not, we're not here for a good time to relax on the beachfront. We're here to kick ass, because that's what we do best. We do that better than you, Bobby. We do that better than Finn. We do that better than Hit Row. And are we going to sit here and keep talking, or are we going to fight? And then out come Power for the Dragon. Xia Li stands in the middle, Humberto and Tozawa at one side, Zergus at the back, and she sort of bows as the boys charge forward, and the big brawl finally ensues. All of the men in these factions, Lashley, Bronson Reed, Ronnie Hughes, Swerve, Top Dollar, Ashanti, Finn, Santos, Ridge, Walter, Dunne, Dudley, Zergus, Tozawa, and Humberto. Just fighting around, the beach. Probably using beach equipment as weapons, which, gives it a little bit of comedy value, but, it is still... If Walter's swinging a surfboard around, that's still going to hurt, And maybe someone gets tossed through a beach house wall or something. But this is really boiling over now. Who is the most dominant group here on Raw? Brandy comes to the ring. And she says, ladies and gentlemen, Evolution, what a great show that was last night, huh? We came out, we announced the creation of the NXT Japan Women's Championship. We count on first champion, Miyu Yamashita. We count on new Raw Women's Champion. SmackDown Women's Champion, Dakota Kai, kept a hold of that one. Women's Tag Team Champion, Charlotte and Jordan, kept a hold of that one. New NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. But I say, why end it there? You see, since the inception of Heat, as the all-women show, the Women's Tag Team Championships have been property of Heat. They can be defended across Raw, SmackDown, Heat, any show with the women on. But given that they are a Women's Championship on a women's show and there's no brands for Heat, they are property of my show Heat. And I say, why stop it there? With SummerSlam, the biggest part of the summer approaching, 2 nights, we're gonna need some more Women's Championship action, don't you say? And she introduces this, and she says, this, a championship, near and dear to my heart. You know, I took the privilege of naming it, and I couldn't think of a better name than Liberty. My baby girl, she's gonna grow up, she's gonna see this championship with her name on it. She's knowing she can do it. She can be the champion. And here's what we're gonna do. 3 women from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. SummerSlam. This Liberty Championship will be hoisted 20 feet above the ring. And the first woman to climb a ladder and retrieve that championship will be in history as the first ever Women's Liberty Champion. Out comes Nova. And she's like, you know, I like you a lot more than I like Alexa, let's say that for sure. You know? And I would love to be in that match. I would love to be the first ever champion. Brandon's like, you know, you're also a great possible choice to be that champion, but I can't just let you get it, you know? There's got to be a qualifying match. Out comes Florence. And the first qualifying match for the Liberty Championship ladder match is Nova versus Florence. So yeah, this probably should have happened to Evolution, but I hadn't decided if I was going to commit to the women's mid-card title idea at Evolution. But I was like, you know, Heat is the women's show. And like the women's tag titles are Heat belts, the Cruiserweight belt is a Velocity belt, but they can still be defended wherever the champion is. If a SmackDown person wins it, it can be defended on SmackDown and all that. So I was like, yeah, why not? Let's have a women's mid-card title that floats. Also, possibly sometime in the future, keep an eye out for potential Cruiserweight Trios Championships. You didn't hear that from me, though. Anyway, Brandy announces Nova versus Florence. The match gets a 72. Florence defeats Nova Nebula. She's the first confirmed entrant into this ladder match. She defeats her because Tatum and Ivy, we saw they weren't in Alexa's little placebo earlier on. Gazebo, not placebo. But that's because they're out here to screw Nova yet again. And Florence is in. She gets a 57. 74 for Nova. And punching their ticket to SummerSlam will be Florence. Along with 5 other women to be determined. This is all that Cody's doing on this show. Because, as you can tell, stacked show. Just to recap of King of the Ring, his victory over Finn Balor, Seth's victory over Keith Lee, and then Cody over Seth in the final. And how next week, the King will speak. Main event match. I say match because there's a segment after this that's going to be the actual main event of the show. Sami versus Breeze. Tyler Breeze picked up the win over Sami Zayn, 13:54 with the booty shot. Sami's not having the best of luck right now. But Breeze, you know, gets the win. 67 for Breeze, 75 for Sami. After the match, Breeze stands over the defeated Sami Zayn. And he looks over at Wardon. And he goes, pick him up. And Wardon's like, what? And Breeze's like, pick him up and powerbomb him. And Wardon's like, no, I don't want to do that. Breeze is like, I'm sorry. You what? And Wardon's like, no, I don't want to powerbomb him. And Breeze says, you do as I tell you do. Pick him up and powerbomb him. And Wardon, he goes to do it. And the crowd's like, no. And he picks up Sami, he powerbombs Sami. And Bree's like, see? Was that so hard, you big dumb idiot? Do it again. And Wardon picks up Sami again. And he puts him in position for a powerbomb. And he stops. And Breeze is like, I'm sorry, did I tell you to stop? Powerbomb him. And then the crowds obviously, go, no, don't fucking do it, Wardon. He tosses Sami to the floor and just turns to Breeze. big pop. And Breeze is like, did I ask? Powerbomb him. And Wardon's like, okay, I'll powerbomb him. Bang, kick to the gut. Lays out Breeze with a powerbomb to a big pop. And Wardon is finally destined to be that breakout babyface that I've been so eagerly waiting for him to be. He's finally dropped Breeze with a powerbomb here to a monster pop. Taking his straps down. Roaring to the crowd here at Bash at the Beach. Helping Sammy to his feet. He's like, I'm sorry, buddy. And Sammy's like, whatever. Just leaves. We then come back to Alexa's little gazebo. Ivy and Tatum are walking in. And they're like, Alexa, they did it. And she's like, yeah, yay. Yeah, you did it, girls. It's like, great. I love you both. Come here, give us a hug. And then they're like, are you okay? It's like, I'm perfect. I've never been better, you know? This tequila's really, really something, you know, if you tried it. And then Ivy and Tatum are like, no. And then Nova walks in. And obviously Ivy and Tatum are like proper on edge. Because they just fucked her over. And then Alexa's like, no, let her in, let her in. More the merrier, you know. And Nova sort of just squats down next to Alexa in her deck chair. She's like, hey. She's like, hey, how are you doing? How can I help you? And Nova's like, you know, you kind of... Your breath's a bit... Oh. But I just thought I would check on you. Can you get these two out of here and we can discuss, you know, Raw? She's like, sure, girls. Wait outside. I'll come meet you when the show's over. And Ivy and Tatum are like, what are you doing? What? We hate this bitch. She's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'll be fine, you know. I'm like, okay. And I was like, you know, big party tonight. A lot of people started doing their own thing, you know. Tatum and Ivy out there in my match. I guess they did their own thing. Alexa's like, no, silly, I sent them out there to screw you. And I was like, huh, thought so. So, Miss GM, I've concocted this contract here. This is a signed contract for a match between you and I at SummerSlam. And I've already signed it. Tatum and Ivy are barred from ringside, by the way. I just need you to sign it. And Alexa's like, okay, let me get my pen. And they was like, no, I got you a pen. And Alexa signs the contract. And she's like, here you go. Anything else I can help you with? And I was like, no, nothing. Enjoy your night, Lexi. And she's like, oh, I will. She picks up a drink and just continues sipping her cocktail, unaware that she's just signed herself up to a match at SummerSlam against Nova Nebula. $100 rated closing segment. Big E, he comes out, you know, in however he dressed at the beach, and he goes, well, what a rollercoaster 48 hours I've had. At King of the Ring, me and Goldberg, we went out in our dream match. Apparently Goldberg couldn't handle your boy, cause he's gone for 6 months. Bill, I wish you a speedy recovery. You're a legend. And you're finally getting my dream match. Get well soon, King. Now, I thought I would be coming to Bash at the Beach tonight, and I would be, you know, with my boys, the New Day, in our beachwear, you know, making the ladies and the men, we don't judge here, making them swoon over our incredible beach body outfits. But I've been able to find my boys all day, you know, Kofi Woods. Haven't heard from them. So, I don't know what's going on with them, but I guess I'm out here to discuss my future. Cody Rhodes won King of the Ring, and while it could be possible that Cody Rhodes does choose my World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, I have to be prepared that may not be the possibility. I have to be prepared just in case Cody Rhodes chooses to go for Roman Reigns, or maybe even the NXT champion. So, there are a plethora of great top talent here on Monday Night Raw, and I wonder which one of you is going to step up and face your boy at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship.
You think you know me? You never did.
Edge and the rest of the males of the grand jury come out. And he's like, God, you're just coming out here and whining, you know. What, we don't see us, the new Raw Tag Team Champions, coming out here and talking about how our friends lost, you know, because we all adapt together. One weakness, whatever doesn't kill us makes us stronger. And Sonya, what happened to her earlier on tonight was a crime, and it will be avenged. But let us not forget, me and Randy, we are the Raw Tag Team Champions. So naturally, being the Raw Tag Team Champions, we have to, you know, make sure a lot of the top tag teams are dealt with before they come attacking us. And he tosses like 2 New Day shirts on the floor. And Big E's like, oh, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. And he's like, listen, E. Sure, me and Randy may be the champions, but our quest for gold does not stop there. Our quest for gold does not stop until every single championship here on Raw is in our hands. And that championship that you hold right there, that's one that has a great lot of history with me, a great lot of meaning to me. So, if you're not prepared to defend that championship against me, I'm just gonna take it from you. All of the men of the grand jury storm the ring, and then a half-beaten Kofi and Woods sort of like cobble out from the back to try and help E. They get in the ring and stand side by side, but he's still outnumbered. And Edge is like, so what do you say, E? What do you say about giving me a shot at my championship?
It's a shameful thing, you've lost your head. A careless man who could wind up dead. You wear your sin like it's some kind of prize. Too many lies.
Sheamus comes out. He's like, oi fella, remember me? And it just sort of just turns around and looks at him. He's like, you know, I used to have a lot of respect for you, Edge. Back when you were the World Heavyweight Champion, I was the WWE Champion, you know. I thought, man, it's so great to be here with a legend like Edge. But then you took that away from me. You brought these 2 Vikings by your side. Didn't even have the cojones to show them off. They had to hide behind the masks. And assault me after the match against us. And you had Randy kicking me in the head. And obviously, it's Randy's punt, you know. That hurt a little bit. But I'm back now. And I'm not going to stoop you, so you're not going to stop until all those championships are in your hands. I'm not going to stop until you drop them. This Irish accent sort of went off the rails. And Ed sort of laughs. He goes, well, welcome back, Sheamus, you know. I know Randy sort of knocked your head a bit loopy, but let me spell this out for you, okay? You may as well give up. Because we are the tag team champions. There are 5 of us. There is 1 of you. You're not going to be able to beat us and take these championships alone. And Sheamus just looks at him. He's like, "Who said anything about being alone, fella?" The first time since WrestleMania, outstorms Drew McIntyre. He's got the kill, he's got the sword, and he's coming to take heads off with it. And him and Sheamus, the Vikings probably leave the ring to come and meet them on the ramp. Claymore to one of them, Brogue Kick to the other. And then Drew and Sheamus give each other a look. These two, I think, have never officially fallen out in this world. They sort of give each other a look, bump fists, storm into the ring. Randy, Priest, and Edge try and, you know, scavenge away. But Big E's there, tosses Damian Priest over his shoulder, belly to belly. Sheamus gets a Brogue Kick, Randy goes down. And Edge is now cornered. He's got Big E, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus, as well as Kofi and Woods. But they probably, you know, they're half beaten up. They don't want to fight if they don't have to. You know, they're not dumb. And he's got Sheamus in front of him, Big E behind him. He's like, look, we can discuss this, you know. And then he turns around to try and leave. He gets nailed with a Claymore. And then Drew McIntyre tosses him to the outside. And he picks up both the Raw Tag Team titles. And he sort of looks at both of them before tossing them out to Wedge and Randy. And they catch him and they sort of all retreat up the ramp as a group. As Big E Sheamus, Drew, Kofi and Woods stand tall against the grand jury to end Bash at the Beach. 90 rated show, a very, wild show. Some actually important angles happening, as well as a lot of comedy, as all shows should be. But the most important notes, of course, new Raw Women's Champion. We have a lot of matches confirmed for SummerSlam now, on the women's side specifically. Because we've got the SmackDown Women's title match, Dakota versus Kairi from her winning Queen's crown. We've got Asuka versus Bianca for the Raw Women's title. We know Charlotte and Jordan against Kushida and somebody for the women's tag titles. We know Florence and 5 other women are going to be in that ladder match for the Liberty Belt. And we know Nova versus Alexa. But, speaking of women, what a great segue that is to Heat. Heat kicks off, and it wouldn't be Bash at the Beach without being a Toxic Attraction. They beat, 3 of the women who were being flirted by Grayson Waller. Rosie Riley, Tiffany Stratton, and Nikita Lyons. Apparently JC pins Rosie. 49. Rosie gets the best out of all of these. 30 for Tiff, 24 for Nikita, 63 for Mandy, 57 for Gigi, and 45 for JC. That's why JC got the win here, because she's the one who needs to get boosted up more, because I actually think she's better than Gigi, and I want to get her over to the same level. 73, just a random match. Alba Fire and Naomi going at it. Alba picks up the win in 11:24. Just a fine Heat match, 79 for Alba, 65 for Naomi. Tag match. Apparently Rosie was the referee. I don't know why she's set as a referee in this game. I don't know if she must have done refereeing at one point. But whatever. Double Trouble defeat the team of Valentina Feroz and Ulysses Leon. Kelsey submits Valentina in 6:58. 56 for Anne-Marie, 44 for Kelsey, 30 for Ulysses, and 32 for Valentina. And then, no, not the main event, we've got a quick video package, which is just going to go over, SummerSlam matches. Dakota versus Kairi, Asuka versus Bianca, Alexa versus Nova, and then the tag title match. Main event is a 75, Toni Storm picks up the win over Raquel Rodriguez. 77 for Toni, 68 for Raquel. Nothing specifically on the line, it's just a match, But that's the end of Heat. A quick, simple show. And overall, a very fun episode of Raw. A lot of stuff did happen, but that's more than what the game said, is what you thought of the show. Do let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for SmackDown's first show after Evolution and King of the Ring. See you then.